Now we go to the definition of floor and ceiling. These are two type of functions. Given any real number x, the floor of x denoted by this symbol is defined as follows, that this number is a unique integer n such that n is less than or equal to x is less than n plus 1. What it says is, we choose a number n which is less than or equal to this number x, this real number x, and that number is the greatest integer. So we are choosing a greatest integer which is less than or equal to this number x, and it can be written like this. Symbolically, if x is a real number and n is an integer, then we write it absolute value of x is equal to n if and only if n is less than or equal to x is less than n plus 1. So on the real line, we can easily see what this definition says. It says, when we choose any real number, so x lies between two integers, and it is possible that this real number will lie in two consecutive integers. So by definition, n is the greatest integer which is less than this x. It could be equal to x when x is an integer. Similarly, we can define a ceiling of x, and a ceiling of x is denoted by this symbol, and what it says is that unique integer n such that n minus 1 is less than x is less than or equal to n. We are saying the smallest integer which is greater than x, and symbolically we can write it, ceiling of x is equal to n if and only if n minus 1 is less than x is less than or equal to n. And to understand this inequality, we see on the real line that x lies between two integers, and we are choosing that integer which is smallest integer greater than that x. We seek that integer which is immediate to that x, immediately coming after x. So x can be at that point n, or x can be a number which lies between two integers. So n is the smallest integer which is greater than this x. So this is how ceiling function is defined. So for examples, we see that we are taking ceiling and floor functions of values of x. For a part, we see that 25 by 4, and we take the values of ceiling of 25 over 4 and floor of 25 by 4. So after dividing, we get 6.25, and 6.25 lies between 6 and 7. So for a floor function, we get the value 6, and for the ceiling function, we get the value 7. So floor is the greatest integer which is less than this number, and ceiling is that number which is smallest integer and greater than this number. So in the next example, we see that 0.999 is in between two integers 0 and 1. So the integer on the left, which is the greatest integer less than this real number, is a floor of 0.99, and for the ceiling we have 0.999 is equal to 1, which is on the right of that inequality. Now we see an example regarding floor and ceiling function. The example says that there are 1370 students in a college, and they are given an opportunity to take bus out of town for a game. So each bus holds a maximum of 40 passengers. So there are only 40 seats available in these buses. So A part says, for a reason of economy, the athletic director will send only full buses. Now the question is, what will be the number of buses should the athletic director will send? To answer this question, we simply divide the number of students with the total number of seats present in a bus, and we get 34.25. And since only full buses are allowed, so removing the fractional part and getting the integral part, we get 34 by floor function. And these are the number of buses with full number of passengers. And for the B part, we see, if the athletic director is willing to send one partially filled bus, how many buses will be needed to allow all the students to take the trip? So in this part, it is allowed that a partially filled bus can be sent and all students should be sent. So for all students and a partially filled allowed bus, we take the ceiling function and we get 35. So now 35 are the number of buses to take all the students, in which one bus is partially filled. Now we see some general values of floor function. If k is an integer, floor values of k and k plus 1 over 2 and y. So now k is an integer, so its floor function remains the same and we get that integer, because we are seeking here a greatest integer which is less than k, and that number less than or equal to k, and that number is k itself. And for this k plus 1 over 2, we know that we are adding 0.5 to that integer, whatever that integer might be, we are adding k 0.5. So k 0.5 lies between k and k plus 1. So the value of floor function for k 0.5 will be k. So both have the same value k. Now we see an example of floor function. Is the following statement true or false? For all real numbers x and y, a floor function of x plus y is equal to floor function of x plus floor of y. To check whether this equality holds or not, we need to check it for some values, and then we can say that this holds or not. Let us say we choose x and y equal to 1 over 2. Then what happens? So while adding x plus y, we are getting 1, and the floor of 1 is 1. But when we see the floor of 1 over 2 alone, we see that it is 0, because the greatest number integer which is less than 1 over 2 is 0. So 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. So for this value of x and y, this equality does not hold. So this statement is not in general true. For some values it is true and for some values it is false. So for generally we cannot say that this holds. Just like that, we have some properties of floor function. For this we see a theorem. For all numbers x and all integers m, x plus m floor is equal to floor of x plus m. Suppose a real number x and an integer m. Let n is equal to floor of x. So there must be some integer n which is the value of that real number x, and we have chosen that number to be n. And by the definition we see that when we choose this number to be n, we get this inequality that n is less than equal to x is less than n plus 1, and we can make this inequality through the definition of floor function that x lies between n and n plus 1. Now using this inequality we add m to all the sides to obtain n plus m is less than equal to x plus m and is less than equal to n plus m plus 1. And now in this inequality we have added m in each entry in the inequality. So now the inequality remains the same. By adding it does not affect the inequality. Now n plus m is an integer, and so by the definition of floor x plus m is equal to n plus m. We see that this n plus m is now an integer, and this integer is 1 greater than that n plus m. So these are two consecutive integers, and the value in this inequality x plus m lies between these two integers. So if we take the floor of this x plus m, we get this number n plus m by the definition of floor function. So taking the floor of whole of this value x plus m, we get n plus m. But we have supposed that n is equal to that floor of x. So now we are replacing back that number, and we get x plus m floor is equal to floor of x plus m, and hence the proof. So this is a simple proof. Now we are doing a theorem which is a property of floor function, and we see that for any integer n, n over 2 floor is equal to n over 2 if n is even, and n minus 1 over 2 if n is odd. So यहाँ पे ये कहा जा रहा है कि अगर कोई भी इंटीजर दे दिया जाए और उसे 2 से डिवाइड करें और उसका फ्लोर फंक्शन फाइंड करें, तो क्योंकि अगर वो इंटीजर इवन हुआ तो वो 2 से डिविजिबल होगा और वी गेट एन इंटीजर, और मुकम्मल डिवीजन के बाद हमारे पास एक इंटीजर आ जाएगा, तो उसकी जो फ्लोर वैल्यू होती है इंटीजर की वो खुद ही होता है. ठीक है. सो द फ्लोर वैल्यू ऑफ एन इंटीजर इज द इंटीजर इटसेल्फ. सो उसका आंसर जो है वो n ओवर 2 आ जाएगा. लेकिन अगर वो ऑड हो जाए, अगर n जो है वो ऑड हो जाए, तो उस केस में क्या करना होगा, n ऑड हो जाएगा तो 2 से डिवाइड करने पे हमारे पास पॉइंट्स में वैल्यूज आएंगी. सो हमें क्या करने की ज़रूरत है, हमें उस ऑड में से एक नंबर सब्ट्रैक्ट करने की ज़रूरत है, और जब हम सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे ऑड में से 1 नंबर, वी गेट एन इवन नंबर. सो दैट इवन नंबर विल बी डिविजिबल बाय 2 and we get the answer. So n minus 1 over 2 is an integer, and hence we get the answer. So how to prove this simple fact? Suppose n is an integer, either n is odd or n is even. So we are taking first case as odd. So we are taking n is equal to 2k plus 1. So this is by the definition of odd which we have studied. So n can be written as n is equal to 2 into some integer plus 1 for some integer k. And now we are trying to find the floor of n over 2. So replacing that 2k plus 1 from the definition, in place of n we get 2k plus 1 over 2 floor, and by dividing it with 2 we know that we can separate this 2 into fractions like this. So we get 2k over 2 plus 1 over 2, and this 2 cancels out, and we have k plus 1 over 2. And we have seen this, that if an integer, if we add some fraction to that integer and take a floor of that integer, we get k. The reason is that k plus 1 over 2 is greater than k and less than k plus 1. So the answer of this floor of k plus 1 over 2 is k. And now for the right side, we see that we have chosen n is equal to 2k plus 1. So we need to show that k is equal to n minus 1 over 2. So simply if we solve this equality, we will get n minus 1 over 2. We can see here that n is equal to 2k plus 1, and taking 1 to the left side and then dividing by 2, we get k is equal to n minus 1 over 2. Since both the left hand side and right hand side equals k, so they are equal to each other, and that is floor of n over 2 is equal to k, that is equal to n minus 1 over 2. So for the next case in which we are taking n is even, I leave it as an exercise for you.